Okay, Carlos Watson, Sage Steele, Van Jones. What do these three folks have in common? Well, they're all people who have been prompted up by wealthy or powerful white Americans, and yet we, the keepers of the culture, don't really rock with any of them like that. Now, obviously, the three of these folks are most definitely black faces. However, they are not necessarily black voices, and there's a difference. Let me explain. Take a listen to these half-witted, self-hating remarks from Sage Steele.
Barack Obama chose black and he's biracial. I'm like, well, congratulations to the president. That's his thing. I think that's fascinating considering his black dad was nowhere to be found, but his white mom and grandma raised him. But hey, you do you.
What? So that is undoubtedly a black face, whether or not she knows it, but it is most definitely not a black voice. Yet, I'm sure someone is giving themselves a big diversity pat on the back by having that modern day minstrel show, Sage Step and Fetch It, on the airwaves spewing her continued nonsense. Now, let's listen to Jeff Bezos's black friend, Van Jones, after a Donald Trump speech.
He became president of the United States in that moment.
Okay. Now, let's be clear. Van and Carlos are far from being sage, but there's certainly something to be said about wealthy and powerful white people elevating certain voices over others. By now, I'm sure you've all heard about Carlos Watson and the employee.
I'm just going to go ahead and pause. I don't think I need to hear any more from this woman. This is clearly ridiculous. I cannot believe this.
We're the keepers of the culture. What does that even mean?
The keepers of the culture. It means you're a gatekeeper is what you are. And I love that she admitted that in her little speech. But to say that those people have black faces but are not black voices, how dare you? That is crazy. And it is a complete summation of what it means to be a far left extremist. To say if you don't absolutely agree with everything that we have to say, you're no longer black.
Yeah, they're saying the quiet part out loud. The way that they see themselves is, when you say you're the keeper of the culture, what you're implying is we elites on TV and in academic institutions and such have the right, correct way to view the world. We know how black people should see themselves and what they're able to say. To say that you have a black face, but you're not a black voice, you're not valid because we, the gatekeepers, have determined that what you've come up with of your own perspective and ability to think of for yourself is unacceptable, and it's not in compliance with the acceptable narrative, and so you are not a real person.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Van Jones in particular is more often than not never on our side, ever on our side. Yet even he, because he doesn't subscribe totally to every single thing on the list that is leftist ideology, is being castigated as being no longer black.
Yeah, they literally played one sentence that he said, with no context whatsoever, and she was like, "See this nuanced opinion that he just gave on something?" Like,
you see where
so dishonest.
Do you see this 2-second clip where he acknowledged that the president of the United States was the president of the United States? How ridiculous! I'm revoking your black card.
And that's what it is. They see blackness as a weapon with which to club those with whom they disagree. They see, and so they're like, you don't deserve to have the power that comes with blackness if you're going to use that power to poke holes in the narrative that we are trying to push into every corner of society. If you disagree with the narrative, then you don't deserve the power of your own voice. And that's tyrannical. It has nothing to do with free thought and free speech.
Yeah, it's tyrannical and it's racist. It's racist. Yes. Everything that she just said was racist. And again, it's the confidence for me. It's the confidence to hop on TV and say that about not only Van Jones, who would most likely agree with her on most things, but Sage Steele, Carlos, there's no reason to do that. There's absolutely no reason to do it other than to create more divide. To look at a black person who simply has a different opinion than you and call them not black, which I get all the time, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And the fact that MSNBC allowed this to air, saw this script, because she's reading off a teleprompter, saw this script and went, that sounds about right. That sounds like news reporting to me. And put that on air. Unbelievable.
Shameless.
Shameless MSNBC. Yeah, so she's getting a lot of heat for that right now, as she should be. I haven't really looked into much of the response to this on the other side as far as the left goes, but the right is obviously not happy with Tiffany D. Cross of MSNBC. And I imagine the left isn't either. How interesting is it and how hypocritical is it that you are all about uplifting black voices and bringing nuance to the black movement except when they disagree with you? Except Van Jones doesn't even disagree with you. He just made one statement that you disagree with. So hopefully Tiffany Cross is thinking about this a little harder today after this clip has gone viral.